If y'all can give us a few minutes, we're waiting to see if any more committee members come in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize that we're a little bit late getting started. Thought we'd give everybody a chance to show up for this first meeting, since this seems to be such a highly sought-after committee. And the chair of this committee has marked the names that ain't in attendance, and we'll certainly remind them and ask them if they'd like to be on another committee. We'll certainly forward that on to the Speaker's office. I want to welcome everybody here today. This is the House Regulated Industries Committee. My name is Alan Powell. I'm from Hartwood, Georgia. I've been here a few years. I think they say I'm third in seniority of the legislature. So, you know, I've been around long enough that I can usually tell when my foot's wet. But I want to thank the committee members for being here today. We do have 3 new committee members. We lost 2 and we've picked up 3, so we have a net of 1 more. And let me start this meeting off before members introduce themselves and we have any discourse. First off, you have a set of rules, committee, House Regulated Industries Committee rules in front of you. If you if you haven't already looked at them, take a quick look. I was asked, or some of the dialogue has been that we have a majority of the members, which in that case, as I look around, and we just barely do have a majority of the committee members right now. We might have meetings we can't get a majority of committee members. So that'll certainly be taken into consideration if there's any amendments to be put forth. So, if you will look at those committees, these are pretty well cut and dried. Remember that the rules of the House prevail on any unanswered questions to this, such as the chairman's voting power and such. And at that, the chair will will welcome a motion. We have a motion and we have a second. Do we have any questions?
Is there any possibility, since you kicked it up to people out of the committee, we could make that 12 to 10?
The chair recognizes Chairman Jasper.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Taking into your consideration the comments you just made, I'd like to make a motion to accept the rules as written, except on line 2, to change that 12 to a 9.
We have a motion that we change 12 to 9. And we have a second. Do we have any other discussion on that issue? If not, voting on that motion to amend. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Do we have any other motions that may need to amend that need to be made? If not, all in favor of the committee rules of the House for the 2025-2026 session, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And the ayes clearly have it. All right, committee members. Before we start going down introducing, there's a few very important people, way more important than the chairman of the committee, that need to be introduced, especially for the new members. We have 3 of them, and that is Jan Brown. Jan, hold up your hand. I don't think there's a better AA in the legislature than Jan. She's actually too good because she's always there to help everybody, not just the chair of the committee. So that being said, she will help you, but try not to be such a pain in the butt to her, because she does get her plate filled down in the office. Secondly, Brian Hines to my left. He is our committee, what is your title? House Research?
Attorney analyst.
Attorney analyst. Not every committee has an attorney to be an analyst, but they say if anybody needs one, it'd be me. Brian has been here a few years, and let me tell you something, he is very capable. If y'all reach out to him, he can give you ideas on some things if you have some ideas. And I would warn you that in my office down there, there is a bowler hat with a light bulb on it for those of you who might have bright ideas. Last but not least, we have a new staffer that's joining us. Nick Tate will now be the committee secretary. Nick, welcome aboard. And now, what other committees do you work with, Nick? What other committees do you work with? Very good. So he has a great pleasure working with me and my dear friend, Senator Calsert. There's a special place in heaven for you, brother. I can assure you. All right. First, I'm going to introduce, let me start out with my Vice Chairman, Mr. Washburn. If you would, introduce yourself. Say just a word or two around about.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Dale Washburn from House District 144, which is in Middle Georgia, parts of Bibb, parts of Monroe, parts of Jasper, parts of Putnam, and parts of Jones County. And I've been honored to be on the Regulated Industries Committee since I got here. Speaker Ralston honored me by giving me that committee my first year, and Chairman Powell honored me by allowing me to be his vice chair starting maybe 3 years ago, and I'm greatly honored to be the vice chairman of Regulated Industries and honored to be here to work with him and the other committee members. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate you more than I can say. Being a real estate broker and someone that's been in the legislature that's passed the real estate legislation for 30-something years now, I will tell you that there is a better, more knowledgeable broker than me, and his name is Dale Washburn. He is a consummate broker, real estate broker from down at Macon. Ms. Earhart?
Hello, everyone. I'm Representative Jenny Earhart. I represent the northwestern corner of Cobb County, little parts of Kennesaw, Ackworth, Powder Springs, and have served on the Regulated Industries Committee since I came in as a freshman with my colleague, Representative Washburn, and I would dare say this is probably my favorite committee. It's a wonderful balance of both pivotal, meaningful legislation for the folks of Georgia, as well as some very exciting and rather dicey topics at times. So I do enjoy it.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I'm David Jenkins, House District 136 from the Noonan and LaGrange area. I am new to this committee. I'm starting my 3rd term in the legislature. It's my first opportunity to serve in this committee, and I do appreciate it. I make my living in the air ambulance business is what I do full time, and again, I just appreciate an opportunity being here with y'all.
Again, how do you make your living?
Fly helicopters for an air ambulance company.
Ah, Very good, and you probably have realized that you won't be doing many cosmetology bills. Now that you're married. Very good.
We'll leave that to the beautiful people.
Lauren McDonald III, I represent District 26 in Forsyth County, which was make up Lake Lanier and then the half of the city of Cumming.
Jason Ridley, District 6, which is up in the north part, Whitfield County, all of Murray County, a little bit of Gordon County. And I've been on here for, about 5 years now. And when I grow up, I just like to hope I could be like Representative Washburn over there when I grow up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Barrel full of monkeys today. I'm Matt Dubnik from Gainesville, represent City of Gainesville, Oakwood, and parts of Hall County, and very much, Mr. Chairman, thank you for the opportunity to continue to serve on this committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name's Derek McCollum, and this will be my obviously new to the committee. Very excited. I know Chairman Powell since I was little, and when I got elected, my first advice was to keep your mouth shut. I cleaned it up, obviously, and just watch. So that's what I'm trying to do, and I'm honored to be on this committee with him.
All right.
Georgia House District 167, which is coastal counties, Liberty, Long, McIntosh, Glenn, parts of those, and part of Wayne. I'm new to this committee, but this is not the first time I've ever served on a committee that Chairman Powell chaired. I was here a long time ago and took a 16-year break, and I'm on my 5th year returning.
Representative Casey Carpenter, District 4, City of Dalton, south end of Whitfield County. I too love this committee. It's a lot of deep subject matter that affects a lot of working Georgians, and so it's always a pleasure to see how the sausage is made in this committee and see how legislation rises and falls.
Al Williams, I represent District 168. This is the only committee I ever asked to be on. And I had almost as many asks as I've had on the mobile barbershop bill, but I finally got here. And as far as I know, except for some Metro and some North Georgia counties, I am the only rural representative that represents one county, Liberty. Most of it, except for the part that Representative DeLoach represents.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I took Rick Jaspers. I too am very glad to be on this committee after a deal I made many years ago. You know, as many of y'all know, I respect Chairman Powell greatly in his ability to reason and think, and his leadership and thoughtfulness on subject matter. And that's why I'm glad I'm on here and make good policy decisions for Georgia, even though we don't always agree. Isn't that true? Thank you.
Thank you very much. To the committee members, what I'm going to say may sound redundant because I'm saying this strictly for the benefit of the new members. Regulated industries, some of us consider this to be a very special committee. One of the first committees that I was assigned to by the late Speaker Murphy was the Old House Industry Committee, where I learned my skills at the feet of a guy by the name of Sonny Watson, who passed away this past year. And what a great loss that was. If the stories had ever been written, it would be something to read about. This committee, and I've always tried to be fair with the members, open dialogue and debate and discussion, because this committee handles a lot of issues. We deal with the regulatory framework of the state, whether it be professional business licensing. The lottery falls under the purview of this committee, lottery oversight. Alcohol issues, something that's been so easy to drop in bills to change, but a lot of people don't understand the necessity of keeping stability in the alcohol industry. Those who don't study history don't remember all the issues that happened prior to Prohibition in this state, but first and foremost, it's about stability in the industry. Gaming. gambling, health care. We've dealt with a lot of issues in this committee. I'm proud to say that every speaker that we've had while I've been chairing this committee has always known that if they want to hear a bill fully vetted, send it to this committee. No matter how much you folks in the audience have made donations to various and sundry committees, that might mean a lot to some things, but if it's something's for the public's interest in Georgia, we'll hear those bills and we'll move forward with them, not to be taken lightly. I would be remiss if I didn't say this, which I almost let it slip my mind. One of my predecessors a few years ago was threatened for folks out in the hall. And I can assure you, do not threaten any of the committee members here. If you have some threats to make, please feel free to make them to me. And if you don't know how to reach me, I'll give you my address. But do not intimidate nor threaten. Talk to them in a logical manner. Make your best case scenario. But that's generally how we're going to operate. We have 3 new committee members. One of the things that I started a few years ago that I have very much pride in is the House Regulated Industry Committee. We're such a, and I don't want to use the word elite crowd, we have our own lapel pin. A lot of the members, quite frankly, are a little bit suspect because they don't always wear them. I don't know if they've lost them, because if they lose them, they ain't going to get another one. But, you know, it's that little gold seal that came from the brainchild of a former member that I thought a lot of that chaired the rule, Mr. Bill Lee. This is an abbreviated version of that. Jenny, as a senior member, would you mind giving each of the new members their own pen, since I know that's what they salivate for, besides asking, besides begging to get on this committee? I am a little bit concerned that we're missing 10 of the members today. So to you folks out in the hall and to other committee members, feel free to let those members who aren't in attendance, and I have their names checked, by the way, to let them know when this committee meets. And when I go to the well and say that there's a meeting, I would appreciate them showing up. So that being said, is there any of the members who wish to be heard? Any member? Do we have anyone in the audience, since y'all are the professionals, that'll be bringing legislation to us? Because I don't think there's anybody in here that's representing any journals committee or anything that want to speak to us. But any of y'all will have anything you'd like to say to the committee, or just to introduce yourself. Let's, you know, I see some new faces that I don't know. Why don't we start over there, and everybody just raise your hand, stand up, show us your face, and tell us what your name is and who you represent, if you don't mind. Somebody hiding behind that post over there. Very good to have you here. I'm a big supporter of y'all. Thank you. Just come on down the line. Let's just keep it in order. And you work with who? Ah, and where is Tucker today? Ah, all right. Just come on down the line.
I'm not as fun. I'm Christy Trollo, ACEC Georgia, not ACCG. I don't represent the counties.
Thank you so much.
I'm Angela Holland. I represent the Georgia Association Convenience Stores.
Good afternoon, Brian Finance, Finance Family, and a handful of clients.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Stephen Lofton, Lofton Public Affairs, serving a number of clients.
Hey, good afternoon, y'all. Charlotte Davis. I'm part of the J.L. Morgan Company. We also represent a number of clients interested in the committee. Thanks for all you do.
Good afternoon, Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Noah Reyes, represent Georgia's 537 municipalities.
All right. You say you work with House Minority Caucus? If you could, please ask some of the members of the minority party that are on this committee to start showing up, since Al seems to be the only one here today.
Casey Honeyman, Wine and Spirits Wholesalers of Georgia.
Marcus Smith, Georgia Beer Wholesalers Association. Stony McGill, Georgia Alcohol Dealers Association, Retail Package Liquor Stores.
Fine guy is too.
Al's favorite friends.
Elmer Stansel with County Public Affairs.
Hi, I'm Janie Nicholas, and I'm an aide with Impact Public Affairs.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Leslie Wiley. I'm an intern for Representative Capital.
All right. Very good. Now, did we miss anyone? Yes. Well, I see a few of them staggering on in. You're welcome. Come on, introduce yourself. Yeah. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that about does it for the day. We don't know what bills will come in front of this committee, but I'm sure there's going to be some excitement somewhere along the way. We have dealt, we deal with nursing bills. We deal with anything under the shining sun. I would encourage y'all, if you have legislation, reach out to one of these committee members. And I think hopefully you'll find them to be acceptable to handling some of the bill, especially if it has some worthwhile interest to us. Special note, Chairman DeLoach had made a comment in passing. Chairman DeLoach was a subcommittee chairman for me in the day when Speaker Murphy was here. So this strange thing about this business called politics, that we all recycle ourselves. And he was here, he was gone, he's here. And it's so good to see him.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. That being said, to the committee members, you have a sheet of subcommittees on here. Some of them have been changed a little bit. We've combined the THC under the special action, more than likely, or it could go to alcohol, it could go anywhere. At the call of the chair, I may be creating some special subcommittees, depends on what the subject matter is. And that being said, I've always given this advice. Some of them have taken it and some of them hadn't. There's 2 licensed professions in this state that you need to be cautious to the members. One is funeral directors and the other are cosmetologists. If you're ever enticed to do those, always remember that those professions, they have a fixed audience. Those people have the unwarranted ability to reach out to you when those professional licensees are talking to those families, much less that person that's sitting in that chair as they're fixing their hair. So I would caution you about that. Mr. Jenkins. Now, that being said, is there anything else any of the committee members would like to speak on? If not, we're going to recess the full committee, and the subcommittee on the lottery gaming is going to convene. We have a small matter in front of us. And I want to thank y'all for being here today. And if any of y'all don't know where my office is, that's a shock.
All right, folks, let's everybody get moving in the right direction here. We got a bill in front of us. I call the meeting of the Lottery Oversight and Gaming Subcommittee of Regulated Industries to order. We have a bill in front of us, House Bill 74, presented by Chairman Powell. He'll be at the podium. If you want to go ahead and present your bill, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and ladies and gentlemen of the committee. I bring to you today the first bill of the committee for this committee, House Bill 74. Very simple bill for the members of this committee that were here for the last few years. I've handled a lot of the COAM legislation for years, and I'll not get into the redundancy. Last year we passed House Bill 353, which was a pretty major piece. It raised the tax on the COAM industry to help fund pre-K in this state. But because of the nature of that industry, rule and reg making, we have determined, as we did last year, that the rule making needed to be scrutinized under the Administrative Procedures Act. The Lottery Commission has full control of the COAM industry. Now, we have seen over the years that they pass a lot of the rules and regs that deal with industry. The public doesn't always have an opportunity to testify or to hear these rules and regs. Under the Administrative Procedures Act, then they will, if passed, they'll fall under, that they will then, on any rulemaking that they do, that there'll be public hearings on any of these rules, and they will submit those rules or rule changes to one of the two of the committees in the legislature, the Regulated Industries Committee and to the Committee on Economic Development over in the Senate. And that's quite simply all it does. I would remind you that last year, among a lot of the issues that were handled on the COAM to clean up that industry, this was one of the issues that there never was a issue about. Everybody, even the Senate, was in favor of putting them under the APA. What happened on this was somehow there was a scrivener's error or a typo or something that it put them under it in one sentence and took them out in another. That's all this does. I do not perceive this to be a vehicle bill, and I certainly hope it's not, that there'll be other stuff added, but when it gets to the Senate, who knows what goes in or out. But I would ask you to just keep your feet planted pretty firm on this, that we may move forward to put under the Lottery Commission, the COAM division has to adhere to the Administrative Procedures Act, and that's what this bill does. And I would be grateful for your favorable consideration.
Thank you, Chairman. You have a question, number 26.
No, proper time, I'd like to make a motion to pass.
All right, do we have any further questions? Anybody got any thoughts? All right, simple, easy then. It's that time.
Make a motion to
Yes.
Second. All right. So House Bill 74 LC 280645. We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. The ayes have it. We'll get it signed up and send it on to rules.
Thank you,
Or
Mr.
actually, we got to go to big committee.
Thank you,
So,
Mr. Chairman, and this will be on the calendar for next week, as well as any bills that come out of any other subcommittees. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Chairman. And with that, we are adjourned. Have a great day, guys.